All right, so let's talk a little about what behavioral design and the Internet of Things actually are. So, behavioral design, right? Designing products and activities that users will find enjoyable, easy, and useful is the goal, right? Learning and understanding how people react, how they respond, how they behave, is probably the most important insight an interactive designer can have, right? And the fields of psychology, neuroscience, and sociology all offer pathways to learn about what makes people tick. I've linked to a number of resources, right, that you guys can take a look at. But the basic point for behavioral design is thanks to these sciences, we've become very, very good at understanding how to get people to act in ways that we would like them to act. When this power is used for good, good things happen. But when it's used for ill, right, we call it manipulation. The process is the same. The methodologies are the same. The intent and how these things are done, right, is where our challenge is going to lie in doing it ethically, doing it equitably, and fairly for everybody. But let's just take a look through some of these resources. So the first resource available here, what is behavioral design? This woman does just a little book review of this digital behavioral design book. The book is available as a free download, so I've linked to that in the resources list a little further down. But feel free to look at this at your leisure. Introduction to behavioral design. This one is a nice high-level overview, right? It's a little on the older side, but still very relevant. 10 minutes. Not too bad. Next one, a comprehensive list of resources. And what this one does is just provide even more links for further reading, right? Places where you can learn more, on and on. Everything you could ever want to know. The next one we have, the Behavioral Design Hub, Medium. They do a nice job, right? State of field, trending stories. Again, just more news information about the field. Lastly, a behavioral approach to product design. Again, still a little on the older side. The Internet of Things had its big buzz a couple of years ago. And as time goes on, it's just becoming more and more integrated into digital products and experiences. And as I mentioned, right, there are goal things which we'll talk about in a future lecture, right, to keep an eye on. So attention hacking, right, talks about the dark side of using these devices and using behavioral design to manipulate and take advantage of users, right? So we want to be aware that stuff that we can design and put so intimately into people's hands can really impact them, right? Stress, anxiety, fear, anger. These are all real things that these interactions can cause. So being sensitive to them and cognizant of the impact our work can have is something I think all designers really need to take very seriously. Next up, we'll talk about the Internet of Things, right? So what is the Internet? IoT is an acronym. And it's just a network of interconnected objects, right? And they're able to collect and exchange data using embedded sensors over Wi-Fi and cellular connections, right? So anytime your cell phone notices something, it sends location data for where it's at. That data is picked up, right, over the cell phone network, and then that data can be available for all kinds of uses, right? Uber can use it to keep track, find you when you call for a car. Grubhub can use it to find you so that when you order food, all of these services take advantage of networks, sensing, for all these types of services, right? As it goes into civic organizations, are using them for smart cities to monitor traffic, problems with the infrastructure, like potholes and lights that don't work, trash that's not picked up, all kinds of, issues are being addressed through this technology. So just a little overview of what it is. All right, and I've just linked to a couple of ZDNet's overview, right, updated in February, so it's in pretty good shape. An overview from Wired magazine. You may need to sign up, use your junk email account if they ask you to sign up to get access to this one if you're interested. So here, this article really talks about the difference in designing for user experience, design for the Internet of Things. And I think it does a nice job of sort of laying out the issues, right? We're all familiar with responsive design and having to adapt our designs to multiple formats. But as we move now into back and forth communication, right, being connected, right, can we wear it? There's opportunities for new types of products, right, like this digital door lock. And rather than having a key, right, it syncs with your phone so that when a phone that's authorized to unlock the door is near the lock, it connects to the phone and it will unlock the door, right? So some of you may have devices like this at home. Right, all kinds of new things, right? You can sort of send an access code to a friend and let them open the door if you're not around. You can limit that access code to only within a specified amount of time, right? You can, as the owner, you can take people off the list. You can put them on the list, like if you have guests staying for the weekend or something. So, offers different types of experiences that can be useful for folks, right? So they talk about distributing access across multiple devices. This one is a digital thermostat, right? And it's connected to a hot water radiator, right? These are really popular in Europe. But, right, it'll manage the temperature, right? And you can run all of them from your phone, so you don't have to have thermostats in every room. You can pull up the whole list, do a smart home, keep track of how much heat you're using, turn it on and off when are people in the room, not in the room, not at home. And all kinds of these smart home devices are now being offered, whether it's lighting or water usage, electricity, all kinds of motion tracking. This product is a smart pill dispenser. So these little LEDs and this light up here, when it's getting near to being needed to be refilled, right, it'll turn yellow. The little LED lights indicate that you need to take your medicine or that you took the medicine. And again, as people's eyesight is tough, right? They want to, this device could also connect to your phone and track, how well you're doing on taking your medication. All of this stuff up in the air for interactions. The Nest thermostat, one of the earliest big breakthrough products that was digitally connected. So this thermostat hangs on the wall of your house. You connect to it from your phone or your laptop, and you can manage the temperature in the house. So it could run your air conditioning, it can run your heat, you can have the house cool off before you get home from work, right? If you ever actually get to leave home again. So all that, again, takes advantage of it's connected to a device. It connects over a network from remote locations and then impacts your space. Different countries in the world are in different spots on how much they're using technology like this. This is a bus fare collector, I think, in China. Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Octopus Payment Service. All of their payments are taken by cell phone. So just as you walk on the bus, it knows it's you. You pass the sensor, and it takes the appropriate fee, punch in where you want to go, and it just debits your account right? Again, stuff like Apple Pay and other types of payment services are slowly catching on here in the States. Okay. So this concept of asynchronous connection is important to understand. So asynchronous means that things don't happen immediately, right? What happens is your phone connects through your service and you send some instruction, set the heater. It has to go through the network, right? Get connected, go to the controller that then runs to the boiler that then gets to the radiator. So there's a time lag, right? And so you need to think about that as you're designing these services and how they'll actually work. That it's not an immediate response, that there can be latency in the system. All right, some of these things, more fun or more lighthearted, right? These are all colored LED lights. So you can set the mood lighting or have it play to music or, do all kinds of wacky stuff. All right. So that sort of covers I think covers a lot of the basics. So as you're thinking about your project, right, think about how it might interact with the world, how it might monitor, how it might help a real world process go more smoothly and more enjoyably for people. And lastly, just a random article from The Atlantic about, keeping in mind that just because we can do something doesn't mean we should do something or that we need to do something. So, right, just a contrarian view, just to keep that on the table. All right. Okay, so that's that. Again, read through the resources at your leisure and linking to the assignment. So we'll talk in the next video.